How do? I weren't going to put this in, but I will. Yeah, some messages concerned over the weekend. Yeah, sleep. Sleep for me is a killer. Yeah. Had a massive panic attack today, driving Sheffield on motorway, 20 minutes. I felt it coming. People who've had them will know. It's an horrendous feeling, can't do anything about it. Me, I tapped my solar plexus, our last rink car, passenger, she rubbed back of my neck, yeah. So unpleasant. Obviously, I know what it is. Just kept breathing through my nose. Bam, 20 minutes, and then it's gone. Yeah. I knew it was a possibility. Weekend, spent a lot of time in bed. It's not quality sleep, but there you go. But not to worry. I found a yoga class. I don't know whether they're doing it in mass or not. And there's some meditation classes. I'm gonna give them a go, guys. Yeah, I'm not smiling, ridiculing yoga or meditation. I'm just laughing at what some of you might be thinking, but there you go. So I'm out with my boy. Another subscriber question, good question this. We're not going to shy away from any questions. Yeah, so this one. Did you come across many gay prisoners? Cracking question. Absolute cracker. First thing I'm going to open up with, two lads. One, black lad. The other was a white lad, yeah? Both were regulars in Strangeways. The black lad looked really young. He was probably somewhere early 30s, yeah? 5'10", very sinewy, lean, athletic, yeah? Ho, ho, ho. Could that lad fight? So one fight he had on camera, 3 lads. They did get the better of him, but that's 3-1. But I'll tell you what, could he go? Very camp, openly gay. I'm sure if he was here now, because I got on with him all right, I could say catty. He was like that. Sometimes he was on normal location. The thing about him is, he used to cause trouble, believe it or believe it not, and that was nothing to do with him being gay. He would cause trouble. Sometimes he was on the vulnerable prisoner unit. VPs, the sex offenders. He wasn't a sex offender, not by no means. However, they put him on there, it was a bit quieter, and he didn't cause trouble on there. It's all right, we're just watching Stephen. Didn't want him attacking the cyclist, not that he would. So that's one lad, openly gay, a regular in Strangeways. The other guy, probably 60, look, maybe 65, 70. 5'8", again, this guy weren't athletic, he had no meat to him. You know, he was an older person, lived on the street, smoked at the time, scraggly hair, he would come in with makeup on. The last time I saw him, he had a sequined dress, a strappy dress, sequined, like a 70s disco dress. Now, the last time I saw him, believe this or believe it not, and one of the subscribers reminded me to point out or to remember that not everyone knows about prison. So I was on K-Wing at Strangeways, that's a UK prison. K-Wing held 200 prisoners over 3 landings. On that wing at this time, and for 18 months, we had vulnerable prisoners. So that's normal location prisoners and sex offenders on the same wing. We ran 2 regimes for 2 years, 18 months, sorry. Never the twain shall meet. Sex offenders moved when the rest of the jail was locked up. We had 2 exercises. At dinner time, we had to feed the sex offenders, VPs, lock them up, then feed the other prisoners, or the other way round. Yeah, very testing time for staff. In 18 months, Not one incident, not one. So this lad, I say lad, he was like I say, probably 60, looked 70. Stephen, walk this way, kid. Come on. He was on the Twos landing. We had about 30 vulnerable prisoners at that time. So they're out on association. Yeah. Believe it or believe it not that much heckling or abuse from the other prisoners. If they did, this lad, fella, older gentleman, shall we say, would go up to people's doors and offer them out, want to fight them. So like I said, one of the lads who'd signed up for OP is own protection. They're people within the prison who are located and live on the vulnerable prisoners wing. They're sex offenders. And OP isn't a sex offender, but they might be on that wing because it's quieter and they can't go anywhere else in the jail. If you had, say, come up against the Salford boys, Salford being a city itself, Manchester and Salford, two separate cities. If you would come up against the Salford boys, and there were lots of them in Strangeways, you might fear for your life on the wings. So you'd ask for own protection and you'd end up on the sex offenders wing. You would sign a compact to say you wouldn't attack the sex offenders. And if you did, you'd be kicked off own protection. So there's a lad, 25, 6 foot, maybe 15 stone, Billy Big Arms, very fit. Looks an handy lad. He's out, and this other guy who's gay, do you know what? He might not have been gay, yeah? He always coming in the dress. So let's not assume he is gay, but let's assume that people would think he was vulnerable. He's in a dress, yeah? Sequin dress, straggly hair, and he wears makeup. So my mistake there, guys, but you see where I'm coming from. Anyway, they got to scrapping. Let me tell you now, they were only scrapping for 20 seconds. Most fights in prison, on a landing, they don't get to 30 seconds. Staff are there breaking it up. A lot of lads would cause a fight in front of staff, get it out of the way. They know they're not going to get battered because staff will be intervening. So maybe 20 seconds, let's say 30 seconds they went at it. I told you, this young lad, give him some rake cracks, yeah? The older guy must have thrown 20 punches, 12 of them landed. 20, 30 seconds, they both looked like they'd been in a fight. So never judge a book. Let's fast forward. We had a lad come on healthcare from reception. The nursing staff in reception sent him to healthcare because he was openly gay and they believed he would be vulnerable anywhere in the jail. Let me tell you, very small in stature. The lad was early 20s. He maybe looked 14 or 15. We had him on healthcare for a week and then we need to move him on. He wasn't a healthcare prisoner. He wouldn't have been in hospital on the out. People had put him on there because they felt he was vulnerable. Yeah? So here's my rationale. What happened to him was he got signed up and they put him on the vulnerable prisoners wing, on the sex offenders wing. So just bear that in mind. Me, talking to him, yeah, he was very camp, very effeminate. Talking to him, he was a rent boy, a male prostitute, whatever title, you know, a gentleman of the night, whatever title you want to apply, that's what he was. So me, I'm thinking, he's going to be streetwise, this lad. He's very young. You know, he's got no physicality. He's been on the streets of Manchester for years. Yeah. Since his mid-teens. He's going to be streetwise. I think back to K-Wing when I was on and it was rough. You know what? It'd have been fine on there. Although it was a rough wing, a lot of the older guys wouldn't tolerate bullying. So somebody like him, yeah, they might not associate with him, but if they saw him being bullied or suspected, they would intervene. That used to happen in prison, yeah. C-Wing, I would have considered sending him to, the lifers wing. C-Wing, I could have seen him on there, getting a job and getting on. He was quite a likeable chap. C-Wing, again, a lot of old type cons on there. He would have got on there, again, they don't tolerate bullying, a lot of these lads. Anyway, he ended up on the VP wing, on the sex offenders wing. People decided that was the best place for him. Me, two sides. I'd have had him on normal location. I'm sure he'd have managed. Amongst the predators, on the vulnerable prisoners wing, I'm also thinking, you know, he's been on the streets, he will survive. Maybe sexual favours. There was a lot of people on there who would give out sexual favours in order for protection. Yeah. Either way, you know, me, I'd have gone normal location. And he'd have been happy with that. He wanted to go to normal location. But either way, I reckon the lad's streetwise and he would have survived. I did see him a good few months later. He spoke to me like these people do. He'd been on healthcare wing. Stephen, don't be eating sticks. Don't be giving into that one, big lad. Here. Fetch your ball. Behave. Go on. I did speak to him and he was getting on all right. So it's not always what it seems. Now I'm going to talk about a lad who, he was openly gay. He told everyone he was gay. He came on the healthcare. It was his second prison sentence. His first one, he came in for a frenzied knife attack on his, at that time, boyfriend. Yeah. Got about 3 years. It's a very light sentence, that, for a frenzied attack. He went guilty, full of grief, regret and all that sort of thing. This time, he was in on a murder charge. The lad who he had been with, yeah, he stabbed some 40 times, most of them in the head. So he was in bits, tried to take his own life a couple of times whilst he was on the healthcare. We had to be very careful with him, objects, razors and the like. He would get anything. He took a CD off one lad, tried to kill himself with that, sharp, bam. Anyway, eventually settled down. They got him on some medication, some sleepers, some antidepressants. I'm not sure what meds he was on. Anyway, he did ask for a job when he was on healthcare as an orderly. As a rule, anyone who'd been a patient on healthcare, I and the other staff wouldn't have him as an orderly. An orderly, you know, it's a premium job, cleaning job, doing everything on there. So people who've been patients, we tended not to have them as orderlies. As it were, this lad ended up on G-Wing. G-Wing was the induction wing at that time, and he became the head cleaner, as it were. He was in charge of the stores, he was in charge of the laundry, he was in charge of everything. You know, well thought of, and the like. Openly gay, like I say. You know, people would take the piss out of him, watter off a duck's back. He'd just get on with it, yeah? Bit of a jack the lad, he settled in well. You know, 6 months, came in, murder, frenzied attack, gonna kill himself. 6 months later, he's on G-Wing, running the wing, as it were. Yeah. We had a lad come on to healthcare, being assaulted on G-Wing. So, I remember the conversation, me and it was actually a member of the healthcare team I didn't get on. She didn't actually work on the healthcare where I worked. However, she was all right. We just didn't get on. The conversation went along the lines of being sexually assaulted by the lad I'm telling you about, who was in for murder. See, here's the thing. People, and it's judging a book this, people who you think are weak, you know, he's gay, he's having a laugh with staff, he's running the stores, he's doing a good job, so all the staff love him. What he was doing, we believe, he was going in cells of first timers, young people, and sexually assaulting them. So this guy, you know, he took advantage of his position. Stevie, come on. He took advantage of his position. Anyway, very difficult to prove a sexual assault after, you know, something that's happened 3 days before, DNA and the like, evidence. It's really hard to prove. If there's nothing on camera and no witnesses, it is, in fact, you can't. Anyway, it was reported. One of the cleaning warders, a cleaning warder is somebody tasked on shift to looking after the cleaners on any wing. Yeah? The main cleaning warder on G wing, me and said nurse, we did all the paperwork, had a word and said, this lad you've got here, we suspect, is bullying people and may well be sexually assaulting people. I didn't particularly like this cleaning warder, probably one of the worst officers I ever came across in my career. This officer chose to ignore what we were saying, said he's my best cleaner and I'm keeping him. So there you go. I didn't come across a lot of people who were openly gay. There will be people who've gone under the radar. However, you know, a couple I told you about could fight, look after themselves. The lad who'd been on the streets of Manchester since a teenager, you know, he survived. It is what it is. Okay, thanks to the subscriber for that question. Parting shot as always. Stevie, come here. Good lad. Thanks for coming. I'll see you.